Taurus.
Hello Taurus, this is your forecast for April 2017, and listen, this is a month where there's going to be a lot of activities happening behind the veil, so to speak. And this is because you got the Sun, you got Venus and Uranus in your 12th house, alright? So it's for a time like pulling back a little bit and absorbing where you've been in this last year, reflecting upon it. It's a spiritual time, and it might just be you right now feeling that you need to recoup and revitalize yourself. And actually this is where we plug into the socket and recharge our batteries. That is what that 12th house is. But you're feeling relatively good. There's a lot of love in here. Venus is in your 12th house as we start off the month, but then Venus will retrograde and or is retrograde and will move back into your 11th house. So you're going to be feeling that you are going to be working more, again, should I say, over the past as far as friendships go, groups and organizations, maybe friends you haven't heard from or seen for a long time. Watch them come back into the picture. And it's always a nice thing to kind of regain access to those friends that have been long gone. Now, I can also say, though, that even relationships from the past might even pop up under this time. Venus will be retrograde until April 15th. She will be in your 11th house. And from the 15th, slowly but surely, she'll be moving forward again and into the 12th house where she is as we start off the month. Mercury is retrograde this month, Taurus, and that will be between April 10th and May 14th. So for you, Mercury, it starts off right there in your first house, and then it's going to go back into your 12th house. Again, it's that karmic area where thoughts from the past might come up, and we have those phases, all of us, don't we, where people and places from the past and situations that we've lived through, and suddenly they come up like a wave. But that is so that we may process those things. And it's all about just embracing it, you know, loving and forgiving it, letting it go, releasing it, and then we're done. This is the area where we heal ourselves from the past, so it's all good. Then I'd like to say too that Saturn, which is retrograding from April 6th, this coming month, to August 26th, for you that is your 8th house. So if you're working on wanting to, say, refinance your home, try to get it done prior to that. So hopefully you're listening to this reading here in March. It still gives you a little time. Because as long as you start the process, it's okay that a planet goes into retrograde. You just don't want to start it under a retrograde. But Saturn here also has to do with your shared resources with your partner or any partner you're working with closely one-on-one. Saturn, which is where we master our abilities. It's where we take a stance for our actions, right? Right now it's focused on your 8th house. It's going to take some of that pressure off until late August, so you can feel that this area is going to calm down a little bit. Saturn also rules karma, so you can see maybe there's things coming up that needs to be looked at. Perhaps even over accounts that you have had in the past, you may need to rework or retweak those things. If you have testaments, wills, that kind of thing, trusts, this is a time to actually look it over and see if you're wanting to make any changes in it. For example, that's typical what we can see under this aspect. Pluto will go retrograde as well. April 21st through that of September 29th, so for a long time. And Pluto for you here, Taurus, is in your 9th house for long distance travel. But it also rules the area of lawsuits. If you have anything going on, pending, well, hopefully that can settle prior to this retrograde, because it is going to slow it down, right? And so you're just going to have to be a little bit more patient before those things come. But this also goes for those of you that are working on a visa, green card, passports, any kind of travel documents, this is, you know, where it is processed, and Pluto is very powerful because it indicates the change that you're trying to create in your life. So when that slows down, I know it could be a little bit of a headache, but it is what it is. So expect things to start picking back up speed again once we get into October. Now, I haven't spoken about all those retrogrades. Let's look at the action that's taking place. Now, on April 3rd, like I said, Venus is going to move from your from your 12th house into your 11th house, and that's where it's going to remain for the rest of the month. So on the 6th, though, we got Mars and Pluto in a beautiful aspect. Mars being in your first house, this means that you are going to be very much of a go-getter this month. There's a lot of action and activity and you initiating, getting things done. It's like there's no time to procrastinate when you have Mars in this area. And when it's all fired up with Pluto there, Pluto being in your 9th house, I'm seeing how you're probably wanting to get out and about, do things, as if you got the itch, right? A little cabin fever, maybe. But Pluto and Mars are really good about finalizing, getting things done, or initiating new. And we're in a good place because Pluto has not yet gone retrograde. So good for you. Anything you need to do to get legal papers up and running, get it done now. 7th through the 9th, though, I would say, be careful to not rush too quickly because the Sun and Jupiter, they are opposing one another. And it's always important when we make a choice that we look at both sides of a situation, because if we're just looking here, this might come around and bite us in the butt. And on the 8th and 9th, Venus and Saturn are square. Venus now to your Saturn might just have to do with a group or an organization, might have to do with money, it could have to do with your relationship and how money is being shared or spent. And that might just cause a little bit of a conflict here for you on the 9th, between the 8th and the 9th. So, you know, but as long as you're looking at both sides of the coin, you're more so balanced to take this on and get a good outcome and result. 14th, though, with the Sun and Uranus, well, when they meet up, we're always in for the unexpected. So for you, this is going to be coming from the 12th house area. So there could be somebody popping up that you hadn't been seeing for a long, long time. It could be like a karmic forgiveness coming either from you or to you that you're receiving, whatever that deal is. But let's not forget, it's the house of Pisces, of creativity. And so you might just hit the jackpot as far as like really finding something that you would love to do and express. I would say jump in there and try to capture it because it's only a day or two and the sun's going to be moving onwards, but you can take the essence of what that download was all about and then you can apply it later on, right? It's just getting the insight of it. On the 15th, this is Venus now going direct, okay? So we're out of all of that energy. And I feel for you at that point that things will now get back on course for the way that you need it to be. You're feeling that there's more of an emotional flow between you and your partner. And of course, when I speak of partners, I always get the question, what about us who are single? Well, you always have a relationship with yourself, don't forget. We have inner communication going on between us and like that inner partner self, right? So we have that. But on the 17th, listen, this is a romantic night, either for singles or for you couples. Venus and Mars are doing the dance. Venus being located where she is and Mars in this really beautiful, deep energy of your sun sign. So you're really in the groove of feeling that things are really nice, you're expressive. I feel that the sharing between you and your partner is great. If you're single, this could be a nice time for you, perhaps to go out and meet somebody socially. Same day though, on the 17th, for some of you, you might even either tie the knot or get engaged. I say this because the Sun and Saturn, they are in a beautiful alignment to lock things in for for what it is you believe, for what it is you foresee there in the long run. So the 17th, mark that on your calendar, see what it's going to be for you and how this can, express itself through your chart. On the 19th, the sun is coming into your sign, so then I'd like to say happy birthday to you, Taurians. After this date, the sun is now in your first house, and this is what we love, because that's when we radiate the most. The first house is always our energy out towards the world, right? So when the sun is here and you've got Mars still here, people will notice that they can't not notice your energy of being that much more outgoing, dynamic, and full of initiatives. And of course, you're going to be loving and liking it. On the 20th, we have Mercury going into Aries. It's retrograding, so now it's passing back into your 12th house. The sun also moving into Taurus on the 19th, into your first house. So they're right there in a crossing. And in that crossing, there is an alignment taking place, because all of this is happening right there on your cusp, your ascendant's cusp. On the 21st, Mars, being your primus motor, moves into the sign of Gemini. And for you, Taurus, which is great because it's a money house and you rule this area. You rule the second house in your solar charts. So when Mars comes in here, you're going to be that much more focused on generating money, income streams, whether it is your day-to-day job. You'll be wanting to get all your ducks in a row here to see how much more you can make it last or stretch or bring in more, maybe second income streams as well. Think about Gemini, it's versatile, it's the twins, right? So I can see a lot of you Tauruses having dual incomes just for that very reason. On the 21st, though, Venus and Saturn are square, so we have a little hiccup. It might be feeling like things are emotionally a little cold. Think about Saturn having rings, kind of pushing things to the outside, and you might be left on, the outside of those rings thinking, what about me? Where is that going to go? Saturn can be a little cold when it's in difficult aspects. However, though, I feel for you what this will be is between your 8th and your 11th house. So it has to do with your hopes and dreams. It could also be within a friendship that might turn cold for whatever reason. But it's karmic, though, because it's coming from Saturn. It's coming from the depth of that 8th house. Maybe something that wasn't settled earlier may come up, and you need to look at this. And this is because of retrograde of Venus. Maybe it was about money, or maybe it was about an emotional issue. And it's been lingering, but here's time to confront it. So don't shy away. This is time to meet it so that you can settle it. So actually ask it, invite it and welcome it so that we can rise above and beyond and then let go and be done with it. On the 24th, we have Mercury and Saturn. So now whatever is coming as a consequence of what took place there, you're talking. Now something has opened up and you're feeling really good about it. And it's more like I can see you're telling yourself, God, I should have done that long ago. Then I wouldn't have to carry this with me. And we carry sometimes a lot of things that we don't need to. But we just need to speak, address it, and heal it, and then let it go. You have definitely that taking place here by the end of the month. On the 28th, we have Mercury and Uranus. That is also a wow factor, unexpected news coming in, and I feel you could be the one who's bringing some unexpected news out to others, but you can also be the recipient of it. You might even just get a flash of an insight here, Taurus, and I'd like to say pay attention to whatever that is. It's more like a channeled message coming through that might give you an OMG experience, right? So before we end, we're going to talk about the moons. We got the new moon, we got the full moon, and the full moon this month here for you, Taurus, is in your 6th house for routines, your health, how you're wanting to set your ducks in a row so you can work more efficiently. I feel this is the area that's going to be highlighting to you so that you can see exactly what you need to do to kind of become a little bit more efficient. Your health might be a little bit more in the forefront too here on this day. And of course, the new moon will be in your first house this month, and that will all be about you sparking off new energies that can come to the forefront, which you may then come to enjoy. And that's when we always place our intentions as well. So listen, this is what we have here for April, and we'll see you next month in May. And in the meanwhile, have a good one. Bye now.